Let's hear from Eric himself. He's got the Rippaverse sucks. Man, Eric's being honest. I like this honesty in advertising. Right?
So you don't like the Rippaverse. Maybe you think the books suck.
I do.
Yes.
But boom. I'm right there with you, Eric. I agree. I never thought I'd agree with an Eric video in 3 seconds in, but I'm all for it.
That's fine. We're not
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
entitled to your money or support. Maybe you picked up ISOM number 1 out of curiosity, but didn't vibe with it. Maybe you gave ISOM number 2 a shot and decided to check out. That's fair.
Yes. That's fair. Yes. So tell Sturgis to leave us alone.
He's saying the words, but I'm not hearing. What I'm hearing is "fuck you." Fuck,
Yeah,
that's not fair. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
That said, we released a lot of books since then. Maybe you thought my writing was fine, but the artwork wasn't your thing, even though we had.
I don't know a single person.
Both suck, you know. How about both?
Yeah, but have you heard, seriously, name one person. I don't think I've heard a single detractor go, no, the writing is fine. It's the art that's putting me off. Usually people were like, well, the art's 3D assets, but it's serviceable, right? It does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest, but the writing is really where people are like, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible writing.
Look at Johnny Rocket when he remixed the comics, right? He used the same panels and everything. His good writing is the one that put eyes on it, right?
Yeah. The more videos he makes like this, the more he's becoming Enron. Everything is shit, Eric. Shitty.
An industry pro like Cliff Richards, whose work.
Oh, see, maybe you didn't like the art, but don't you understand the art's made by an industry pro, TJ? So you're wrong. This is exactly
like Frank Miller. You know, he could be an industry pro, but his comic book covers lately have been shit. I'm sorry, Eric.
But this is how you know it's a Cope video, right? You don't go, hey, maybe you don't like you like the writing, but you didn't like the art, which just happens to be made by an industry. No, that's where you lost everybody. That's where you've transitioned from accepting criticism to now trying to defeat your criticism. Like, you don't like it, but how could you not like it? It's made by an industry veteran, right? It's like saying, hey, TJ, maybe you came over to my house and you ate some food and you might not have liked it. You liked the plates that I gave you the food on, but you didn't like the actual food, which just happened to be made by a Michelin 5-star restaurant chef that worked downtown and served people at the White House. Right? That's condescending. Like it's almost like how dare you not like the art, right? How dare you have that opinion? This guy's super popular, super famous. He's a mainstream guy. Yeah. The attitude in there.
On Wonder Woman and Shazam. Maybe it wasn't the art at all. Maybe the genre just didn't click with you. Well, there's other books out there that I wrote. I wrote a detective noir story called Salvage PI.
All the same.
Issue number 1, illustrated by Bart Sears, a legend who's worked on Justice League Europe. It's
a legend, Bart Sears. Now we're just name dropping people. So maybe you don't like the genre.
And Eric, Bart Sears, he can draw.
Yeah, but they're all the same genre.
Sears. They're all the same comic. They're all the same writer. That's the problem.
Everything. He likes to say they're different genres, right? Different genres. They're not really. Okay, and they're all superhero books. They're all Western American superhero comics, right? There's, Isom superhero comic, Yaira superhero comic, Outcoast superhero comic,
superhero comic. Even with all the horror elements, Bloodruth is a superhero. Sorry.
Even Salvage, which is being labeled a detective story. There's no detecting in the story. Shorsha is more of a spy thriller than a detective story, even though that's also being labeled a detective story. But it's closer to a spy thriller, but just barely, right? Because then we go from spy thriller to now she's fighting like this big tough chick that's clearly we've gone into, it's a superhero book again, right? It's Black Widow.
Yeah.
War and Legends of the Dark Knight. Then in Rippaverse number 2, I wrote Saoirse, another private investigative story, but with a more modern femme fatale feel. And that's illustrated by...
With a modern femme fatale feel. How, Eric? What was modern about it? Femme fatale, sure, she's a attractive woman, but here's the problem. Again, she barely uses her attractiveness, right? Because it's not like she stands out amongst all the other women. All the women there at the party are supposed to be beautiful because they're all like hookers and shit, right? They're like high-end escorts.
They're all dressed like her, even.
Yeah, she fits in with them, but she doesn't really stand out. And she doesn't really use her feminine wiles to get what she wants. It's just kind of like, hey, can I go in that room? Well, sure, you're one of the hookers here, right? Like, it's not really like she seduces some guy and gets her thing and gets away with it. And she's like, no, she gets caught. Like, so it's like really shitty writing again.
Sikatani wants to go back to the old video. He wants to go back to Ken.
She has a cell phone, thus modern day, Tony. Damn it, you're right. Bloodruth horror shit, the cursed horror shit, the black gay club horror shit.
These are completely different styles, different tones, different vibes.
Different style. They all look the same, Eric.
Different tones, different vibes. No, Saoirse and Isom and Salvage, they're all written by the same guy who has no idea how to write.
But maybe you just don't like me as a writer. That's cool. Yes. Maybe you prefer.
That's cool.
That's cool.
It's fine.
With the fun.
I didn't want you as a fan anyway.
For a seasoned veteran writer.
Again, here's like the biggest problem I'm having with this, TJ. I want you to imagine. Imagine this was Kelly Sue DeConnick or
right.
What the hell is that one that they're always Heather Antos? This was Heather Antos.
Yep.
Saying the exact same thing, word for word. They would throw a shit fit. How dare Marvel? How dare one of these SJWs say this shit? Didn't you see the condescending tone? Yeah. Oh, that's cool, huh? I guess you don't want my money. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't like your comic books, right? But Eric does it, and it's like everyone just gives it a pass, right? It's so frustrating.
Leading the charge. That's why we brought in Chuck Dixon, co-creator of Bane, one of the most respected writers in the industry, really known for Batman, The Punisher, and Nightwing. He teamed up with Joe Bennett, who's worked on Immortal Hulk, Deathstroke, and Captain America to create.
It's funny, he's finally naming.
Oh, Eric, we caught you.
Before it'd be like, he worked on other stuff in the mainstream at those other companies. Now he's like Batman. He worked on Batman. Okay, he did Bane. Joe Bennett did Immortal Hulk.
Alpha Corps #1. That features a superhero cop team operating under Flores Park's law enforcement. But let's say
he said it features a superhero team operating under Flores Park's police department. Except for if you read the book, they are Flores Park's police department. They don't operate. It's not separate. They have a jail. They have regular citizens in Alpha Corps uniforms. They have a whole base with people.
Care for Alpha Corps, maybe because I created them. Then there's the Horseman Welcome to Flores Park, which is a gritty street level vigilante story, and that's
no, it's not. He's not a vigilante. He's stealing. He's a thief.
He's Red Hood.
It's not, like, does Eric even read his comics? Like, he's not out there fighting crime. He's out there stealing from criminals. He's not a vigilante. Yeah, he's committing crimes. He's a bad guy. He's a supervillain. Somehow, Brian is so retarded. He's like, I think you're good. You have good inside you. I let you go free. Don't be Horseman no more, okay?
You're a thief with a golden heart, Horseman.
Yeah.
I believe in you. One day you'll change,
They really are what they claim to be against. Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
This is so desperate that I think his next video will be called, Hey guys, I didn't have a dad. That's crazy.
It's written by Chuck Dixon and illustrated by Joe Bennett, but that's their creation. Or maybe you want something more grounded, no powers, just sheer intelligence. That's where Gooding the Polymath comes in, and that's written by
with no powers except for the bad guy that has powers.
Right.
Yeah.
Horseman didn't have
Mike
power.
Barron, the creator of Nexus and the Badger, and illustrated by Will Conrad, whose work includes Justice League, Wolverine, and Black Panther.
Again, it's so fucking
name dropping.
Not just name dropping, but it's like, look what they worked on. Dude, how can you not like this? They worked on all these things, these other things that are popular, right? It's desperate. It reeks of desperation, right? This is like, don't break up with me. Look how cool I am, baby.
Gooding is a technological genius, proving that you don't need superpowers to make an impact. Or maybe you're looking for something with a different creative voice. That's where Jen and Sylvia Saska come in. They're filmmakers and comic writers, and they wrote Black Widow, No Restraints Play. They're handling Yaira, our most popular female character.
Our most popular, you mean the only female character?
Another superhero, Eric.
Maybe superheroes aren't your thing, so you're looking for something else like Blood Ruth #1, a full-blown horror story. Again, from the Saska.
Yeah, again, I think me and Little Movie Perp were having this discussion the other day about what is horror, right? Because you have things like psychological horror, body horror, classic horror, right?
Cosmic horror, yeah.
So it's like it's a wide fucking net. I don't think, if I'm trying to be honest, and I don't think Blood Ruth is a horror comic. It has elements of horror, but it's not really like, it's not scary. It's not psychological. It's not a thriller. It's not like, it has a monster. So like, oh, it's horror. There's demons in it, right? That makes it horror.
She's not weak against the monsters, and it's not chasing her around,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like, you're not like, oh man, people are dying and she's getting chased and, she's powerless. And no, it's like, she's powerful and she's fighting the demons, right? Like, what's the Ash vs. not Ash vs. Evil Dead? What's the third one? Come on, TJ.
Evil Dead?
Yeah, but you got Evil Dead.
Evil Dead Rise?
No. The one that's more comedic. The one where he goes back in time.
Oh, Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, right? So Evil Dead is horror. Or you watch Army of Darkness, that's more of a comedy that has like horror sprinkled in, right? There's a jump scare here. There's a little, kind of a disgusting thing there, but it's not really horror. That's Blood Ruth, right? It's like a superhero book with like a little sprinkling of what people might consider horror elements, right? Oh, it's got a castle. It's got demons. It
like
references
Hellboy.
Vampires.
Like those have horror elements, but Hellboy has the right hand of doom. He can punch his way out.
I remember, it's Castlevania. Yeah,
and Bloodborne. Remember, and Jurassic Park.
Sisters, and they specialize in that. It follows the Blood Witch, Sydney Bloodruth. Maybe you want something though a little more out there, a sci-fi ragtag crew adventure. That's where Dirty Deeds in Rippaverse issue #3 comes in, and that's written by longtime author Carol Brown. And that's just
longtime author Carol Brown. She didn't get no accolades. She didn't do anything important.
It's what's out right now across multiple creative teams. The Rippaverse has already put out more than a dozen books across several different titles, over 1,000 pages covering a wide range of genres and storytelling styles. The Great War of Separation, that lays down foundation for major events in the Rippaverse, giving readers a deeper look into the world building and lore if you're a nerd for that.
You're a nerd for that, don't you understand, TJ? The reason why the Great War of Separation didn't sell that well is because we don't got a lot of people ain't a nerd for that. Not everybody's into the lore. That's why it's not a failure.
And we're taking things cosmic with Zaylin, our first major spacefaring saga that will open up even more storytelling possibilities. And if none of that interests you, that's fine too.
That's fine.
That's fine too. It's
Giant
okay.
font.
Perfectly okay.
Maybe you're looking for something all ages. Grab Achromatic Chronicles by J. David. Maybe you want a Japanese-inspired series. Check out Gabriel and the Guardians by Colossal.
It's a Japanese-inspired Hebrew series about Jesus.
Studios, which features an all-star voice cast with Johnny Young Bosch, Christina V, Matt Lanter, and James Arnold Taylor. Both Achromatic Chronicles and Gabriel and the Guardians are published by Rippaverse. Or maybe you just don't like me and want nothing with what I'm involved in. That's cool too.
That's cool too. Bro did street level for like 2 minutes, yeah. So what you're saying is you want to see the Rippaverse stopping making just superhero comics and making lesbian bike riding. Yeah, I would love that. A lesbian, spingy. Gotta get your dirty deeds.
There are plenty of other indie publishers and creators putting in the work. Iconic Comics has a growing catalog, including common.
See, like if I was doing this video, right, TJ, I would have been like, there's a lot of other indie comics out there, right? Then I would have showed Super Killer. I'd be like, no, not that one.
Yeah.
America by Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini, a superhero series with this manga-inspired style that absolutely exploded in Japan, which is a major accomplishment. There's also...
He said all that without actually saying anything about what it's about. It's this thing called Common America. It's inspired by Japanese manga and it exploded in Japan. Okay, but what's it about? Why would I want to pick it up?
Give me a reason, you know?
Yeah, that's the way he sells this shit. I've noticed, like, he doesn't talk about what it is. He just talks about, like, it's inspired by this or it's this kind of style. This is the genre. Like, yeah, but I want to know what the story is. I don't know, what am I actually buying?
Soul Finder by Doug Ernst, which is this, like, supernatural kind of thriller about a...
I don't think he's actually read any of these. That's why he doesn't know. He's like, it's kind of this supernatural thing.
Secret Order of Exorcists battling demonic forces. You got Arcathena by Eric Canetti, a sci-fi superhero series. And that's not it. You can go check out the other iconic titles as well, and I'm sure you'll love it. Then there's Irene Strakowski. She's an indie powerhouse known for fiendish and dark fantasy adventure that's blending in this manga, classical fantasy, and Lovecraftian horror. If you're an aspiring creator, she's someone that you got to be following. She's shared a lot about the creative process. You got Pat Shan at Space Between Entertainment. They're producing and making waves. They consistently deliver. Mark Miller has continued expanding his Dark Horse properties, and Vaughn Coleman is already on his second issue of Phenomenova.
He's already on his second issue, TJ. Like,
already.
Yeah.
Late books, bud.
Iconic Comics like Butch Killigan.
Yeah, I said that. Butch Killigan.
Mark Millar. Yeah. Eric has never read a Common America. Someone showed off some panels from a Common America, and I was like, this is not for me.
And that's a young creator that's making his mark.
When you want to make Western art that's streamlined, they go all up on your ass. They'll hate you for it. But if it's a manga, yeah, it's fine. Make as many mistakes as you want. It's okay.
It's not even the mistakes. It's like... So I don't know if it was a bad panel or bad series of panels, but they showed off in the Biggest Problem Discord. Someone was showing off some of that Common America, and I think they're supposed to be like college age girls. They look like a bunch of old ladies. They look like the 40-year-olds.
They drew wrinkles on their legs for some weird reason. It was weird.
I was like, what is this? And even like the writing was just really dumb. Like, it wasn't interesting, it wasn't funny or catchy or peppy. It was just dumb. It's like, is this where the
manga again? Zero scrutiny when it comes to manga. This is how these people were conditioned. It's crazy.
Yeah, Rini shouldn't be anywhere near Eric.
In that superhero sort of storytelling realm. Former ISOM colorist Gabriel Taib, he's killing it with Big Man Comics. Phil Diaz is still doing his thing with Zay Comics. So if you don't like the Ripper...
Everybody
like,
hates Rippaverse. I mean, Comics Gate.
yeah, it's almost like the entire anti-CG alliance.
Yeah, where's Mike
Rippaverse.
Wheeler then?
That's fine, but there's no shortage of indie creators actually putting in the work. We aren't
Like
the
me.
only gig in town, and we're not in anybody's way. The fixed pie is a fallacy. So
The fixed pie is a fallacy.
Here we go.
go holler at those creators.
Go holler. Go yell at them. They making mistakes too. Go talk to them. Ah, poor Eric.
The amount of cope. Jesus.
Oh man, the comments, TJ. The comments. I gotta go back because not all of them are good. Not all of them. So we got this guy here says not gonna lie. Yeah, some people going on the program says not gonna lie. This comes off as beggy. Beggy? Yeah, it means you're begging, Eric.
Panhandling.
Eric's success is our success. Keep creating, everyone. I don't know if
we will win.
Is he being serious or is he just like trolling? I don't know. All right, let's see. Or maybe I want the Rippaverse to fail and the quality doesn't matter. I don't know. Rippa, you're an inspiration. You're inspiring this guy.
Wow.
I'm inspired. Damn, I didn't realize how much the Rippaverse sucked till I watched this video. What a one-dimensional brand. Okay, this comment is retarded. Makes little sense why people are so caught up with hating Eric and the Rippaverse. They act like Stan Lee didn't have a beginning with Marvel. That Marvel always was. Not everything Rippaverse puts out is interesting to me. But some things are. And so I do have a vested interest in Rippaverse. How do you have a vested interest in Rippaverse? Also, I don't know if you know this, retard, but Stan Lee was putting out banger after banger in the early days of Marvel. That's why he's Stan fucking Lee.
Even before Marvel was a thing. He was putting out bangers.
I particularly look forward to The Horseman issue 2. I do want to get Isom 3 since I do have 1 and 2. This guy sounds so fucking enthused. And instead, go check out manga like Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt with story and art done by the great Yasui Otagaki. Or maybe Oshi no Ko written by the fantastic Akasaka.
He's not a wee baton.
Yeah, don't forget Alterna Comics, Blood Rain, and King Cryptid are great. I hear great things about King Cryptid. Rippa's great-great-grandpa Isom's pie recipe to the rescue, using only the fresh ingredients, not artificial additives. Mass-produced slop. Damn, this guy. He gets thumbs up. I'm here for pie. Grift. Isom is not my favorite. I probably won't buy more after the 3rd issue because I want to finish the story out. And that's okay.
That's cool.
I'm loving Alpha Core and the Horseman. This guy is stupid. The other thing is that if the Rippaverse really genuinely sucked, they wouldn't not be talking about it. But the reality is the Rippaverse doesn't suck, and that's why they hate. They hate that other people decided to enjoy it. Yeah, that's 100%. That's why I decided to hate on it.
Doesn't sound like a cult at all.
Yeah. I want a full story to buy and read, not episodic. All the story in one book, or a whole story arc in one book. Eric had a reply to that. We've released graphic novels, The Horseman, Welcome to Floorspark, and Gooding the Polymath. Gooding the Polymath doesn't feel like a complete story, seeing how it leads off with a cliffhanger and everything, right? And I don't think Eric understands story arcs. Let's see any other replies from Eric. Oh, look, it's a homeless Larry. As you say,
Uh-oh.
the pie isn't fixed. Keep killing it out there.
This is what they do.
Now, this guy says the pie really is fixed, though, since there are hard limits to real purchase numbers. Fortunately, each potential purchaser will spend between $1,000 to $2,000. So for a sane producer, that's more than enough. It's the malignant narcissists who hide behind crooked crowdfunding sites and outdated online grifts who die away.
Damn.
Only fake comic book readers don't buy Rippaverse comics. Rippaverse, so I'm not a fake. The rest,
Twist, bud.
twist. Is there any more? Oh, look, hater. All your books suck. Fan, if you don't like them, just stop buying them. Buys the next book. Hater, stop ripping me off. I don't remember.
Okay, Kelly, so the comic.
Yeah, those aren't arguments that anyone's ever made, right? I'm pretty sure people were just like, this book sucks. I'm a critic, so I'm going to buy all of them, right? That's my job. It's my job to criticize things. I buy crappy movies, crappy fucking video games, books. I don't know they're going to be crappy, right? I might have an inkling that they could be crappy, but still got to buy them to play them and check them out. These people just hate that we're having fun drinking this poison.
Yeah.
This is what we will win truly means. Any more, Eric? There's another. Oh, look at Eric. It's just cool. People have something to enjoy. Didn't grab the comics yet due to them not being widely available where I live. But I would probably be most interested in Bloodruth. Eric says we ship worldwide. Hey, we ship worldwide. You get a comic. You don't have to wait, man. You get the comic.
He has to correct the record.
Yeah. He says, yeah, I know. Would prefer to check it on hands in a local store, for example. Maybe someone around here will eventually offer your stuff because you guys are growing fast. To see if it is for me. If I need to pay $30 for the shipment alone, it's better for me to buy in bulk. At the moment, I'll wait and see how you expand from here or for some collected editions because I prefer them. Nevertheless, I've been following Rippaverse for some time and will cheer for you, Eric, because you and the gang are positive people. Eric can't leave it alone. What country are you based out of, if you don't mind me asking? I can personally deliver the books. I need you to buy my books.
I need to empty my warehouse. Come on.
He said Poland. Eric didn't come back, though, because he said Poland. Poland! So shipment is $30.
Damn. He left him.
Oh, look, Von Coleman's in the chat. Thank you so much for the shout out, Eric. I really appreciate it.
Oh boy, Garfield.
I wish you success, but checked out after 2 because I found ISOM rather directionless. I get it. You're trying to set up an entire world, but I personally want to connect with the person I'm reading with before I start worrying about the world. I am willing to try another series, but I don't know where to start. I'm a fantasy writer, so if you have fantasy-style comics, they will likely be more of interest to me. Again, rooting for you. P.S. The art is fine. I don't understand why so many critics bring that up. If you want something more fantasy that's in our universe, you should give a shot with Bloodruth and the upcoming Norfolka.
Oh, wow. So Norfolka will be fighting elves? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and Bloodruth isn't fantasy. I thought Bloodruth was a horror comic. Now it's a fantasy.
Yeah, what happened to horror?